Guys, waiting for others to join. Srishti, are you working in your resource group by any chance?
Yeah, I was about to create a VM to continue the yesterday practical.
Did you
Should
delete
I go?
anything
Yeah, I did.
just now?
Oh yeah, actually I saw my machine was running, and yesterday I deleted it, but
No,
I don't know why
no, that wasn't your machine. I created the whole setup just now. Sorry
oh,
if I didn't,
I'm so sorry.
tell you. That's okay. Just leave the group for a minute. I mean that resource group. Leave it as it is. Let me create that machine again.
Okay, okay,
So if you can see there, I have created your VNet again, and I have created your local gateway also. So everything is there. So what did you delete with that machine?
I deleted the VM.
VM, and did you also delete
VM
the
was.
VM disk? Let me create one. No issues. No problem. I'll simply go ahead
Oh,
and
I
create a
thought
material.
I have forgotten to delete it, and I just.
No problem. One more minute, guys. I'm waiting for others to join, and then we'll start. Okay, guys. So we can start now. Any one of you got a chance to read some details or work on this the practical which we did yesterday? Yes, guys. Anyone? Guys, if you do not practice, you will not understand. Please get that thing very clearly. I mean, just looking at these videos or attending these sessions is not going to help at all. So let me proceed with this. We'll do a quick recap and then we'll start. I have deployed a machine here. I'll explain it to you which machine I'm talking about. So yesterday we were talking about, I mean, we started with VNET Peering. VNET Peering was about communicating to VNet. Guys, all of you can see my screen and hear me properly, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. I see a few people are missing. Let me check. Give me a minute. Let me check if, yeah, because this is one of the complex topics. And I thought if all are here, that would be good. Yes, guys, while I'm just logging into this machine or IP वगैरह set कर रहा हूँ, can anyone quickly do a recap what we did yesterday, day before yesterday, जब से VNet pairing का topic start हुआ है तब से? This one, whatever is there on your screen, this one I'm talking about. ये VNet pairing, global, local, then within same subscription, within same tenant, and what are we doing now? कल तक हम लोगों ने क्या किया है? So could you guys explain this? Yes guys, anyone please, जितना भी आता है या फिर bits and pieces will also do, whatever you
So,
understood.
I'll try with the current one, I think. So yesterday we were trying to connect to virtual networks which were in different tenants. And in order to
Mhm.
connect them, we were trying to create a VPN,
Right.
okay? And also a subnet gateway at both the virtual networks in order to establish that VPN. So with this setup, we were trying to create a communication channel between a VNet from one company to another.
Okay, and where else can we use this? Where
We
else
can
can
use
we
it,
use? Yes.
not this, we can use pairing within virtual network within uh, within a tenant, or if you want to connect two virtual machines which are in two different subscriptions.
And where else? By the way, are you done with the practicing this one, Amit?
Yes, right.
I'll delete that then. Yes,
I
where
forgot
else?
it.
That's okay. So the moment I see the balance, I come to that someone has forgotten something. Right. Yes, guys. Where else? I told you, okay, VNet peering over the VPN. कौन से scenarios में use होगा? Question could be like this, कि VPN scenario किस में use होगा, या फिर you'll get a scenario and they will ask you for a solution. So unless you know it, you won't be able to speak. So where else? One situation is two different tenants. And the moment I say tenants, so I'm obviously it is implied that we're talking about Azure. My question is, where else can I use this? The one which we are configuring here, where else can I use it?
The
So,
private server as well.
yeah,
Sorry.
on-prem as well as AWS, Google Cloud,
Right.
these many.
Right. Any other Google Cloud for that matter, be it with AWS, be it with the GCP, Oracle, IBM, or your private cloud, anything, or your on-premises. If you want to connect one of your VNets to your on-premises, this is the method you will be using. Obviously, on-premises पे ये सब करना, that is a different thing, right? But Azure level पे तो यही करोगे. Even if it is a connectivity between Azure and AWS, so you don't need to know कि AWS पे क्या होना है. राइट, आई लेट यू नो कि AWS से कितनी इन्फॉर्मेशन हमारे पास आनी चाहिए, बट वो कोई AWS का इंजीनियर है वही करेगा. और अगर ऑन प्रीमाइसेस से होना है तो जो ऑन प्रीमाइसेस वाला इंजीनियर है वो करेगा. यू डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट इट, बट यू शुड नो, you should be thoroughly familiar with the process which you have to do at Azure. Okay, so now here I have got two machines. One is from Srishti's tenant, the one which she is using, which says UTK, and one is in my tenant. Just because you see both of them on the same screen, that does not mean they are connected, that does not mean they have same network. is कोई भी इस तरह की बात नहीं है. I hope that is clear by now, right? We just see this for the practice purpose. Otherwise I would have asked one of you to open one machine and I would have opened one machine, but that is not going to help you unless you guys see both of them. So first let me check the IP address of this machine. And then we'll try to ping these machines to each other. So what is the IP address of this machine? Yes, guys. What is the IP address of Tsoft machine and what is the IP address of UTK machine?
UTK is 10.3.0.5
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
this
fine. As
one
far as
is
you know how to read and where to read, so it's you will get it. It's 172.16.0.4. So I'll ping from here. I will ping this one 172.16.0.4. Why? Because I'm trying a connectivity between this machine to this machine, and now from here to here, right? So here I'll ping 10.3.0.5. This is not pinging. This is also not pinging. Okay, guys, which means it doesn't have any connectivity as of now. Clear till here? Anyone has any doubt? Now, if both of those VNets, if they were in Azure, same subscription or same tenant, it was an easy option for me, or it was a simplest option for me, that I would have gone on any of the VNet and I would have selected which option? Yes, guys, which option I would select?
Peering.
VNet peering, right? VNet peering I will select. And does it matter if these are in different regions or different resource group, or what is the benchmark? I mean, if those are in different region, will I be able to peer them?
yes.
Yes.
And that will be called
Global peering.
global peering, right? Yes, we will be able to peer, but yes, it will be called global peering, Handy. So won't go no for an answer. Peering will be there, yes. Global peering and local peering, but peering will be there. And is there any difference between steps or anything? Yes, guys, when it comes to global peering, what
No,
is the difference between global peering when it comes to steps?
it's similar, same I
Same.
guess, with local and
The
global.
only
Yeah.
difference is both of them will be in different region.
Different
So
regions.
that
Yeah.
is, yes, that is one case. The another case, if I had one VNet in different one VNet in different subscription, another one is in different subscription, and both of them are in same tenant, will I be able to use VNet peering? Two different subscriptions and I want to use VNet peering. Is it possible?
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
And the VNet peering over VPN, the one which we are doing now, is it possible to do when it comes to two different subscriptions?
Yes.
Yes, obviously it is possible. We'll do that
Yeah.
also. एक वो वाला practical भी मैं करके बताऊंगा. That is very simple. इससे काफी easy. इससे एक step कम हो जाता है. But in what cases will you do when you have both subscription in same tenant? Why would you go for VPN? What could be the roadblock where you could think of VPN and not VNet peering? Let's say it's a peering between Windows team and SQL team. Okay, these two different VNets. SQL team does not want to give any access to Windows team on their network, and Windows team is not ready to give any access to SQL team on their network, but still they want some sort of connectivity. Access as in, if we are doing in different subscriptions, so what you will require, you will have to either create an ID here, किसी एक का किसी एक पे ID बनाना होगा and access देना होगा, right? Otherwise your access will be limited to your VNet, to your resource group, to your subscription. Why should a Windows team have access on SQL team, or why should an SQL team have access to Windows team? That this is what happens normally. So वो cases में you'll go on VNet peering over VPN. What is the difference between VNet peering and VNet peering over VPN? Major difference?
You need a gateway subnet.
That is fine. That is process. Difference क्या है? चलो process वगैरह सब मैं कर लूंगा.
Uh, Over VPN, it uses public IP.
Okay, could you elaborate? What does it mean using public IP as in? That is correct. Obviously, it uses public IP. So how
The
is it impacting me?
communication
Are you
will
talking
be
about
through
some?
internet.
Sorry. Yes, Amit.
So I think the major difference will be that the way communication happens. So if you're using public IP, it will be internet. Private IP will be intranet.
Right. It's correct. Srishti and Amit both are correct. But instead of intranet, we'll use term Azure backbone network. Intranet thoda sa chota word ho gaya uske liye. Azure has a specific term. We'll go with that. Right. So yes, it will be using public IP. तो एक cost involved हो गया. But इतनी बड़ी कंपनी में एक छोटे दो public IP का cost कोई बहुत खास चीज है नहीं. ठीक है. But yes, public IP use होगा. It is a valid point to mention. And yes, when it comes to over the VPN, though it is a virtual private network, it is a tunnel. It is an IPsec tunnel. Still, it is using internet. And when it comes to VNET peering, it is using your Azure backbone network. I hope you understand what is Azure backbone network, right? If Azure has two data centers, so they have connected their data centers with their own networks as well. इंटरनेट के को नहीं यूज कर रहे, उनका अपना भी एक अलग पूरा केबलिंग जो है ये करके रखा है उन लोगों ने. आई मीन इफ दे आर स्पेंडिंग करोर्स ऑफ रुपीस, व्हिच मींस दे हैव डन थाउजेंड्स और बिलियंस में पैसे लगते हैं, डॉलर्स लगते हैं. सो दे डू दिस केबलिंग वगैरह सब कुछ होता है. एक अगर इनका डेटा सेंटर हैदराबाद में और दूसरा पुणे में भी है, सो दे हैव डन द केबलिंग अपना प्राइवेट नेटवर्क का. की अदर देन जो आईएसपीस है उसके अलावा इनका प्राइवेट नेटवर्क भी होता है. इज इट क्लियर गाइस?
Yes.
So when it comes to VPN, internet will be used, and when it comes to VNET peering, Azure backbone network will be used. Okay, so this is the background. Now let's proceed where we left yesterday. Srishti, now maybe you can handle your resource group for next resources whichever we are creating. Okay, so we were talking about this one, virtual network gateway. Components we required is a VNet and obviously a machine to test. It is not necessary to have a machine, but here we required a machine to test. Hence I'm not writing that virtual machine. वो आप लोगों को लगने ही वाली, testing कैसे करोगे otherwise? ठीक है. So a virtual network we have created. I have created in my tenant. Srishti has created in her tenant, which is UTK minus Tsoft. We'll require a gateway subnet. We have created gateway subnet. And other than gateway subnet, do we require any other subnet also? A normal subnet, or is it possible to create a VNet just with the gateway subnet?
No, you will require a normal subnet as well.
Right. While creating a VNet, it will ask you to create a subnet. So एक subnet वैसे ही बनी जाएगा उसके बनाते वक्त ही. Or even if you create it with this name gateway subnet, you can't you can't deploy your machine or resources in your gateway subnet. तो अगर आपने कर भी लिया किसी तरह से, तो that doesn't make any sense. That's correct. There is no point of it, right? So you will require a gateway subnet. That does not mean कि वहां पर एक normal subnet नहीं लग रहा है. ठीक है? I have not mentioned everything. हर एक चीज लिखने लग जाएगा तो हम लोग ये बहुत ज्यादा लंबा चौड़ा नोटपैड बन जाएगा, right? So we'll require one VPN gateway subnet with this particular name, gateway subnet, and then we required a network gateway, a local network gateway, which we already created. Yesterday जो हम बना रहे थे कल हम लोग, जिसमें काफी टाइम लगता है, 30 मिनट लगता है डिप्लॉयमेंट में, right? So today I have already created that. It's already there in my resource group, and it's already there on my tenant. Srishti has also it's ready in her environment as well. And while creating the local network gateway, we selected a PIP. What is a PIP?
Public IP.
Public IP, right? So we have created a public IP already. Now what is the next step? Connection. So let's do the connections now. We are connecting two of those. Before we go there, quickly let's have a look. They are still not pinging. Obviously we didn't do anything, but just for you to see it. So what are we connecting now? Guys, don't get confused with these terms. ये terms बहुत बार confusion में भी होंगे और आप लोगों को बहुत बार देखने भी मिलेंगे. But you make sure you remember this. NAT gateways is a different thing. Application gateway is a different thing. Local network gateway is a different thing, and virtual network gateways is a different thing. बहुत similar है, सुनने में बहुत ज़्यादा confusion है इनमें, but you will have to do this. You will have to remember this. You will have to understand it. नाम लेने में कभी कोई कंफ्यूजन हो भी जाता है. इवन इफ यू goof up, you should know the concept. तो इंटरव्यूअर समझ जाएगा कि स्लिप ऑफ टंग होता है, दैट इज फाइन. ठीक है, बट अगर आप VNet गेटवे को आप अगर लोकल नेटवर्क गेटवे से रिप्लेस कर रहे हो या एप्लीकेशन गेटवे से, so that is not going to help. So network peering between two tenants, that is fine. On which component are we doing this connection? That is my question. Very specific question. This connection, like peering, we do it on, where do we do VNet, where do we do peering? On which component?
On VNet.
Yes, on VNet we go and we do peering. So this connection, where will we do this connection?
It will be on gateway subnet.
No. It will be on your virtual network gateways. We are not doing anything on subnet. We are not doing anything on the VNet. We are going to your virtual network gateways. Okay. Clear? Anyone has any doubt? Yes, guys. See, something which I have not taught, उसमें तो आप जल्दी से आंसर दे सकते हो. गलत भी हो रहा तो क्या गेस से तो करना है एक बस, right? So, Srishti, on your screen, I hope you are following this. Could you open your virtual network gateway? What is the name of your virtual network gateway?
Is UT Gateway subnet.
Okay. अच्छा, इसका नाम भी subnet हो गया. I think I mistyped that. But that is fine. That is not a subnet, right? I hope you understand that. उसका बस इसका नाम गलती से subnet लिख दिया है. That is not a subnet. So click on this. Do you see connection?
It's loading for me.
Okay. And people who cannot see the cursor properly, here. I clicked here. This menu appeared, and now I'm talking about this one, connection.
I can
You
see.
see the connection, right? So now we'll do the connection between your gateway subnet and mine. I click on add. Did you get it, guys? I'll go back. Under connection, here I have an option to add. Please make sure to make a note of it. याद रख पाओगे आप लोग, नहीं रखोगे, I don't know, though we have videos and these are being recorded, but बाद में एक छोटे से क्लिक के लिए पूरा वीडियो देखना, that is very irritating. And especially these kind of videos जहाँ पर हम डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं, जहाँ पर क्वेश्चन आंसर्स हो रहे हैं. यूट्यूब का वीडियो है तो ठीक है, वी कैन फॉरवर्ड इट, हम लोगों को पता होता कहाँ पर है. से नाउ बिटवीन वन ऑप्शंस की कुछ और बातें होती है, कुछ और डिस्कशन होता है. सो जस्ट टू फाइंड वन क्लिक, इतना सारा टाइम स्पेंड करना थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. नो आई हैव मेंशन्ड those steps here, यहाँ पर मैंने मेंशन किए हैं steps. Still, if you want to make a note of it, you can do it. Okay, so I will give a name here. Now from TSOF to, I'm making this connection to UTK. Okay, or I'll keep it simple. Fine, this is my name.
I have to add a connection also.
Yes, start doing that, but do not click on submit. I'll let you know when to click on submit. Okay, but yes, you can click on add. What name will you use?
I use UTK to TSOF.
Exactly, and you can use anything, that doesn't matter. But yes, so that looks sensible that you use UTK to TSOF. Now, which type of connection are we talking about? Though it says VNet to VNet, but ये VNet to VNet कब use होगा? When you have both VNets in your same tenant and different subscriptions. जो अभी मैं बता रहा था थोड़ी देर पहले, एक एग्जांपल जो मैं दे रहा था आप लोगों को कि विंडोज टीम अपने VNet पे किसी को एक्सेस नहीं देना चाहता है and still they want to do it. That time you can come here and select VNet to VNet. The moment you select VNet to VNet here, यहाँ पर आपका VNet तो already selected है, right? जिस पर आप हो, piece of VNet, and the other VNet which is there in same tenant that will appear here. यहाँ पर वो दूसरा दिख जाएगा because both of them are in same tenant. So it will appear here and you just have to select that और ये keys वगैरह देना and that's all, you're done with it. But in our case, what is it? It is a site-to-site VPN. Why is it site-to-site? Because these are two different sites. These are two different companies. Instead of Azure, it could have been AWS. It could have been on-premises. So now this is going towards site-to-site VPN. Anyone guys getting confused?
साइट टू साइट पे रिस्ट्रिक्शन है यू मेंशन कि पूरा वर्चुअल नेटवर्क का एक्सेस नहीं देना है
Sorry,
हियर व्हाट विल बी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड
sorry, what was that?
यू मेंशन कि वीनेट टू वीनेट में पूरा कनेक्शन का एक्सेस मिल जाएगा टू द अदर पार्टी बट हियर देयर आर रिस्ट्रिक्शंस सो व्हाट आर द रिस्ट्रिक्शंस
No, I think maybe I said it in a wrong way or you misunderstood it. Access से मेरा मतलब था to configure it. I do not want to give you access. यहाँ बैठे बैठे अगर VNet peering करनी हो, if I want to do a VNet peering, so I will have to give access. Here I'm not talking about the networking access. अगर मुझको यहाँ बैठे हुए आपके VNet पे कुछ configuration करना है, so you will have to give me some access, which you do not want to give. Hence I am taking this route.
अच्छा
Here I'm not talking about any networking access. Networking आप VNet peering कर लो तो भी complete networking access मिल गया, connectivity मिल गई. आप साइट टू साइट कर लो तो भी सेम कनेक्टिविटी मिल गई और आप VNet टू VNet कर लो तो भी सेम कनेक्टिविटी मिल गई. Access I was talking about okay, instead of this let's say if I was doing a VNet peering, let me see if I have any VNet here. So let's say that I go to some VNet and I click on VNet peering and I try to add one VNet. I try to add a VNet which is not in my subscription, which is in different subscription, right? तो कैन आई डू दैट? इस तरह से तो मैं किसी के भी सब्सक्रिप्शन पे, कंपनी में 70 सब्सक्रिप्शन है, किसी से भी डायरेक्टली कनेक्टिविटी जोड़ लूंगा. सो इज दैट अ सेंसिबल ऑप्शन? इफ लेट मी go to my director and then I'll be able to show it to you.
गॉट इट
So access, I was talking about that access कि कॉन्फ़िगर करने के लिए एक्सेस देना पड़ेगा, एक टीम को दूसरी टीम के को एक्सेस देना पड़ेगा. Example, virtual network I am going. I am under my MSDN वाला. MSDN के मैं इस Tsoft वाले या Terraform दोनों में से किसी पे जाता हूँ. यहाँ पर I go and I think कि मुझको peering करनी है. किससे peering करनी है? I want to do peering with one of the VNets which is there under pay as you go. ठीक है. Now you will not see anything because there is no VNet. But if it was so simple कि मैं यहाँ से बैठे बैठे सब कर देता हूँ, VNet peering हो जाती, then there is no security, right? इसके लिए क्या करना होगा? Pay as you go को वो जो VNet है जिसको मैं यहाँ से कॉन्फ़िगर करना चाहता हूँ, Pay as you go को मुझको वहां पर ये देना पड़ेगा, एक्सेस देना पड़ेगा, right? Are you getting it, guys? Yes, guys, any confusion? Do you understand what he asked? What was the issue?
Yes, understood.
Anyone who did not understand, please let me know before we proceed. I do not want you guys to have any confusion, even if it is taking one more day, one more session, that is fine. We are not here to complete number of hours. We are here to learn. So anyone who did not understand
So
anything,
by,
please ask me.
please, I mean, repeat once. Got confused. Why?
Which part? Which part did you not
Access.
understand?
Access देना है उस part में या नहीं देना.
Sorry, which part, Yogesh? What was that?
Access regarding you were telling something about the access. We have to give the access or don't have to give the access.
Okay, let's come back to that. We'll come back to that. Access वाले इस पे हम वापस से आते हैं, ठीक है? Ignore that part. First, let's complete this practical and we'll come to access वाला part फिर से. Here you did not require any access to do anything. Okay? Here we'll see we are not working on access. We are working on this shared key. Access से मेरा मतलब ये है कि यार आपका एक सब्सक्रिप्शन है और मेरा एक सब्सक्रिप्शन है. So if sitting on my subscription, if I get connected to your network or your subscription without your provision or without your permission, without any access, तो उसमें security नहीं रह जाएगी ना कुछ. I mean, sitting in IBM, if I get connected to any of the VNets which is in TCS, तो TCS के पास तो कोई security नहीं हुई ना. Now I'm talking about big companies. Maybe कोई hacker का group बैठ के सारे companies के VNets अपने आप को जोड़ लेगा. And the moment they are in the network, it's easier for them to crack password and everything. Right? So there has to be some authentication process. There has to be some sort of permission from both ends. So if we are not getting that permission, दोनों भी एक दूसरे को कोई permission नहीं देना चाहता है company A and company B. In that case, we could use this option. क्योंकि यहाँ पर हम लोगों को permission नहीं चाहिए. यहाँ पर we are exchanging a key. So let's go with this one first, and then we'll come back to VNet peering फिर से एक बार. ठीक है? So we have configured it till here. यहाँ तक हम लोगों ने configuration कर दिया. Now we are doing the connection, and the connection I have given a name, and this is we are selecting site to site. Whenever you have different tenants, you will select site to site. You have Azure to on premises, you will select site to site. Azure to AWS, you will select site to site. Even Azure to Azure, different tenants, you will select site to site. Is it clear?
Yes.
Anyone who still has doubts? We'll come back to that question which Yogesh had and Henty had. I think it's clear for Henty. For Yogesh, I'll explain it again. We'll come back to that. If not today, maybe tomorrow, but Monday, but we'll definitely do that. In this one, is it clear that which one are we selecting in which scenario? Yes, guys, anyone has any doubt? When will we select VNet to VNet?
So for VNet to VNet, we can do VNet pairing without VPN as well, right?
Yes. And we can do it from here also. और वही मैं explain कर रहा था कि दो options क्यों है. VNet pairing करने के लिए आपको दूसरे इस पे भी like you and Sanmitra, you are not able to do it because you did not have access on each other's resource group or each other's VNet. To do pairing, you will require access sharing. And if none of you are comfortable sharing the access, you can use this method to do VNet to VNet. So when are we using VNet to VNet, guys?
When we are on same tenant, but one team doesn't want to share the access or give the access to different.
Okay, as of now, forget even about the access, right? When we are in same tenants, we are using VNet to VNet. Same subscription में भी अगर आप चाहो तो VNet to VNet use कर सकते हो, कोई issue नहीं है. VNet peering भी use कर सकते हो, VNet to VNet भी कर सकते हो over the VPN. When are we using site to site?
When we are on two different tenants or two different subscriptions.
Sorry, two different tenants or
Two different subscriptions organized.
more than subscription, when we have two different tenants in Azure, or we have two different clouds like Azure and AWS, or Azure or GCP, or anything, Azure and IBM Azure or cloud, IBM cloud or Alibaba cloud or anything, or when it is Azure to on-premises as well, you can use site to site. Clear, all of you till here? And when do we use express route? It is only when the connection is from on-premises to cloud. So first let's focus on this one. Let this get clear in your head, all of you, and then we'll proceed. Right guys, so who can explain when do we use? See, I have been telling you Microsoft will have plenty of ways for one method. So the moment I say VNet to VNet के लिए VNet pairing है, that does not mean कि VNet to VNet के लिए VPN नहीं है. Example, this one site to site we are using for Azure to on-premises, and express route also we can use for Azure to on-premises. This is about to finish, guys. Let me stop this, and whenever this finishes, I'll stop and join it at 16:45 with a 5 minutes break. We'll join. Yes. Meanwhile, who can explain when are we using VNet to VNet? Or let me finish this and we'll be back at 16:45 and we'll start with this same link. 5 minutes break.